Y'all, we are blessed with Matt again. Shane, do we need to call the AJC?
Brandon James gang.
Oh, here we go.
The Sportz Nutz are back.
You are now listening to the Sportz Nutz.
Yes, welcome everybody. We are so thrilled that you're here tonight and you're letting us bend your ear for the next 90 minutes. A special shout out to 95.5 KFCE, TigerNation.live, the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, and the other 7 radio stations that we air on. And also shout out to the lower 48 in Alaska and Hawaii. And now 43 other countries we're airing. Thank you guys so much. It really does. You guys have no idea how much that means to us that you guys are tuning into us. It really does mean a lot to us. But tonight we have an absolute gem of a show. Before we get further into it, now my man sitting right now, ladies and gentlemen, is we are treated to yet 2 days in a row, basically, of Matt. You know, Matt rarely comes on Wednesdays, but Matt, man, happy hump day. You made it, man.
This is weird. Hey, man. Nah, man. Everything's good, man. Good to see you guys. Ready to get this show started, man. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody's feeling well. So, I know, right? My man's struggling down there, man. Struggling down there, man. I hate to see it because I was just like that like 2 weeks ago, man. But I hate to see it. So, hey, man. Hope he gets better, man. Suit the fed up.
It is that time of the year, and of course down here in the South, we get eaten alive by all the pollen imaginable. But Shane, man, it's Wednesday, it's hump day. Everything is downhill from there, man. How are you doing?
Oh yeah, well,
other than talking a lung off.
yeah, a hump day, losing my voice a little bit here or there. It's the pollen's definitely picked up here. I can tell you that much. I had the sprinkler hit the back of the car today, and I got big water driplets where the water hit, and then you see yellow around it. So definitely getting into the thick of it here. Of course, it's been beautiful weather. Not too hot, a little bit cool at night, chilly. So I can't complain. And plus, as I always say, it's downhill from here. So we coasting on into the weekend, I say.
Coasting in on fumes. Yes. So as you guys see, my man sitting below me, we are joined by, yes, it is our weekly Tony. Oh man, Tony, how are you doing, brother? Happy Wednesday. It's good to see you as always, man. First off, I gotta say, dude, I love everything you're talking about. I'm not gonna talk anything about it, but if you guys can tune in tonight, my man right here has a really good, like jaw-dropping conversation. Make sure you have your big boy headphones on because it's not for the faint of heart. But man, how are you doing, Tony?
Man, outside of that stuff, I've been doing pretty good. It's these allergies here. It's been really bad here as well, and I get the cottonwood pollen and the ragweed pollen
That's the
And
worst.
I'm allergic to both, to the point where one time I was in high school, I was in a Boy Scout camp out, and we did a night where we slept completely under the stars, no tent. The weather is beautiful, so that part was perfect. I woke up and my face was swollen. I had to be taken to the hospital, and that was when I learned how bad my environmental allergies are. So this is a very difficult time of year for me too. So I'm with you guys.
Yeah, and the bad part about here, thankfully, it's about the pattern change. We haven't had rain in like months. Like we don't even know what rain looks like here. So it's piled on top of pollen, so it goes nowhere. And there's a TV station, WYFF4. They do like this aerial shot before every end of the newscast, and you can actually see the clouds of pollen floating around. It's so gross. Oh, it's nasty. But yes, guys, we are joined by our guy Tony Gladstone. He is with the Wire to Wire Sports Network and the podcast Name Deferred. He is going to join us to talk about, what else? We're talking about baseball. We're so excited about that one. Now, after Tony does leave, we are going to be talking about the NHL, the regular season. The campaign has come. The campaign has gone. We're going to talk about the Stanley Cup playoffs. The 16 teams are official. We'll talk about those. Now, I've got some crazy baseball stats that I want to share with you all too. The first one will be the worst records all time for a baseball season, and then the best ones for all time who have never won or who did not win a World Series. It's actually pretty alarming. You'll get to see those in a minute. We saw an absolute amazing, talented WNBA draft. Some really big names were taken off the board. Also, want to say congratulations to A'ja Wilson. She is officially the highest paid WNBA player ever in the history of the WNBA. Signed a 3-year, $5 million deal, fully guaranteed with an option for a 4th year at 1.2 plus million. So in theory, she could make almost $8 million. So congratulations to A'ja Wilson. She is a very big name here. She also donated a basketball court to my wife's school.
So not to interject, but so all the WNBA contracts, are they like guaranteed contracts?
Yep, 100% guaranteed now.
Wow,
yep.
that's big. That's big.
Yes, it's huge. Hey, Mark, good to see you, man. Great to see you as always. But yes, we are going to talk about that. But then also, guys, there has been some. This is the craziest thing. What do you guys think the fastest growing sport in America is? Just for bleeps and giggles. What do you think it is, Tony?
Recreational sword fighting.
Well, I mean, it really is kind of like. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's pickleball. This is crazy. It's grown by leaps and bounds, over 87% growth in the last 5 years.
It's time for us to strap up, get the old man headbands
get the shoes on. They gotta get the New Balance and the high water socks.
Get the New Balance shoes on. Get the New Balance shoes on with the high socks that come up to the calf muscles.
Yeah,
and let's do it, guys.
It's time to hit the pickleball course.
We gotta do it, man. It's about that time.
We gotta do those 70s basketball shorts though. Like it's gotta be.
Things gotta be tight though.
I gotta be. Like just like one step away from Lululemon spandex is what we should be working with at all times.
Oh yeah, I can totally dig seeing that on you, Matt. Boy, look at those legs, Matt. Woof. Oh man, but then we have a sports. Shane has a sports story. Matt does too, and I have a small sports story. And then everybody's favorite segment is the honorable mentions, which Shane actually has an honorable mention for you right off the bat, Tony. So with that being said, the first question of the night for you. Let's dive right into it. Let's talk about how the Atlanta Braves, they've come out really hot. You and I talked about this too, Tony. Pitching. It hasn't been too tough, actually, but gosh, the bats, man, they woke up and said, hold my beer. I'm going to go crazy. And they are going left and right. And I want to ask you this question. I think, is it safe to say that Drake Baldwin is the future and we can go ahead and say that the Sean Murphy experiment was a failure? And do you think Atlanta could trade him before the season ends?
Drake Baldwin is the future. There's no question about that. And I think that I respect Sean Murphy because in his prime, he was a terrific catcher. As a catcher, I like watching Sean Murphy, but I think that his form hasn't really as much kept up with the game and the way things have to work now. And I think that's probably one of his biggest things. And then the health issues with Sean Murphy just haven't helped. Again, yes, Drake Baldwin is definitely the future. That kid is great. He's so good behind the plate. He and Carlos Narvaez are probably two of the better young catchers in the game right now, in my opinion. as far as Sean Murphy getting traded is concerned, I do think that happens. I honestly don't know of who I would pick to take him at this point, because I don't know that it's going. I think Sean Murphy gets traded as part of a package to fill in whatever gap is going to be needed close to the deadline. So I would predict that he's going to go to a team that doesn't really have a huge shot of being in the postseason. I would think that we're going to be looking at one of those bottom tier teams, that he's going to be part of that package, and he's just going to be the backup catcher there, or maybe he'll be one of those player coaches in the minors before he transitions out of the game, and probably becomes a coach based on, I think, his ability. I like Sean Murphy as a guy. I think he's great in the locker room, but that's Drake Baldwin's job now.
Oh yeah, I mean Shane will even allude to this. The stats that we are seeing are unprecedented. I mean, Shane, what is it? 20? He has to 20 yards? Tell me, what is his RBI total, Shane?
Well, before last night, I think it was 17, 20 hits. Like he was top 5 in 3 or 4 different offensive categories in the National League alone, not just catchers. So
that's insane. Like Drake Baldwin, man, he definitely is a diamond in the rough. Go ahead, Shane. Go ahead. I know you had the question, but I know you wanted to do your honorable mention because you had mentioned that to me. So go ahead, man.
Oh yeah, let's go ahead and start it off with that honorable mention. I know Brandon sent it in the group chat that we have about Lehigh winning big yesterday. But my honorable mention is going to go out to the NCAA record for runs in one inning with 20. Tony, I want to get your thoughts on how this 20 runs happened. I believe it was 11 walks, 7 hits batsmen, and 3 hits, I believe was the total. So I want to get your quick thoughts on that before we go into the question I got for you.
Oh, you're muted, Tony.
Oh. There we go. Okay, I apologize. That happens with a lot of talent. There's a lot of things that to me that come into play with that situation, and I didn't watch it happen. So that's the hard part for me. And I think that when you give up that many, when you give up that many things, and I mean, and it was in the first run too. So you have started the game with decimating one of your starting pitchers' confidence because they were giving away runs like they were a Taco Bell franchise.
Or Oprah giving away cars. You got to run.
Right.
Run. Everybody gets a run.
It's one of Oprah's favorite things, apparently. And it was but what's crazy is when she was pulled, the score was 5-0. So it wasn't even that it was just the starting pitcher. Their bullpen got rocked from jump as well in that game.
Yes.
And it's personally, I have to just credit Lehigh's hitting, because if you're going through that many pitching changes in that amount of time, and it's just like that Bugs Bunny short where they're just walking around the bases.
Yeah.
Think. I think that they were just seeing the ball really well. Does that happen very often? Clearly not. But I think that credit to those talented athletes for doing something that it's at the college level. It's difficult. I don't care what sport it is, anything else, something that tremendous is difficult. And they managed to just take hold and get some positive attention for that program, which can translate to a lot of things in the future and their ability to build and grow, because somebody's going to have to step up to University of Oklahoma eventually. And why not Lehigh? Why not?
Why not? I mean, that's a good opportunity. Now, Shane, you had another question. Go ahead, man.
Oh yeah. Well, Tony, thanks again for joining. I'm sorry I didn't lead with that, but man, we talked about it a little bit before, that World Baseball Classic hangover. Now that we've, a couple weeks into the season, 17, 18 games here, we've got a sample size to come from. Acuna and some of the others are getting hot, but man, Seattle has been has been hit with it between Julio and Cal, not producing at the level they were last year. When do you think that some of these players come out this slump? Do they come out at all? And kind of what is your, I know you've talked about it wanting to be a mid-season type tournament, but do you see other than the big stars that we just mentioned, kind of prolonging this hangover from the World Baseball Classic?
I think it's probably going to last for a few more weeks for some of them. We got to remember Aaron Judge was hitting like 111 going into May last year, and there was no World Baseball Classic. So guys like Julio, guys like Cal, and some of these other stars, I think they're going to catch it. I think it may just be a little bit of that hangover, a little bit of running late for last year. They didn't get as much time down as they were used to in previous seasons because, let's be honest, some of these teams really aren't consistent playoff teams. So when you have the playoffs, like for the Seattle, they went from the playoffs to, maybe a month and a half off, and they got to start getting ready to get back into prime position because, really you want to be playing the World Baseball Classic at 80% or above. You don't want to be still in that just getting to spring training, haven't worked out in a month situation. So they haven't gotten as much downtime. So I think that's probably going to show for a little bit longer for some of these guys. But I think that as we get to mid to late May, we're going to see Cal Raleigh have a couple of multi-home run games. We'll see J-Rod do that as well. And like just huge hit, like 4-for-4 type situations that they will go through in May and start to swing that back up. They'll be above 200 probably by end of May, beginning of June, I think. Because it's the counter is you get some of these guys like Wilyer Abreu, who has had a tremendous start to the season. He's been up and down and was one of the top hitters through for the American League and for the league as a whole to start the season because he came out of the World Baseball Classic already cooking. So there's definitely that spectrum. But I think guys like Julio, guys like Cal, some of these other ones that are pros that are still kind of working into it, they're going to get there. I think it's just, some guys take a little, sometimes when you're cooking a frozen pizza, you put it in a cold oven, it's going to take a little longer to warm up than when you put it in the oven when it's hot. So I think they'll get there.
I like that analogy. Before I go to Matt with this question, did anybody also see Abreu get hit by the umpire throwing the bat back and hitting him in the leg? Did you guys see that? It was the Chicago White Sox. So the player that was before him, I guess it hit a home run or something, and it was an extra base hit. The umpire threw the bat and it hit him in the leg, like the knee.
Wow!
And the player bleeped and complained about it, obviously for rightful reasons. And then he just went through the motions and then after he's done, he gave that like look of like death to the umpire at the end, and I was like, "Whoa, that was crazy to see that one." All right, Matt, go ahead, man.
Yeah, Tony, like Shane alluded to, man, we appreciate having you on, man. Although I'm never really here on Wednesdays, but glad to see you on. So the Dodgers are 13-4 right now, the best record in the league. We know how the Dodgers do every offseason. They always tend to quote unquote load up. So tell me, does anything short of a title make this season a failure for this team?
I think that the Dodgers have definitely put themselves in the position where it's always going to be World Series or bust. I would say for the foreseeable future for that team, because you have the kind of roster that you would normally only build in MLB The Show, and you're benefiting from the financial windfall that you got from signing Shohei Ohtani, and you're dumping that back into a lot of high paying players now. And eventually the tide is going to return. And you can't, because of how stacked this roster is, you can't even really say, oh, they got hit by the injury bug. No, there's so much talent on that roster. You have to stay consistent. You have to just go, because it doesn't matter when like right now, Tommy Edman and Mookie Betts are both on the 10-day injury list. Doesn't matter. You got Hae-Sung Kim, you got Alex Friedman, Santiago Espinal. There's a lot of guys that can step into those roles, and you've just got to go. And it definitely reminds me of the Yankees in the 90s with the way that they were spending. And I feel like it almost puts you at a disadvantage, because every player steps onto that field feeling like they have to be perfect. And eventually that pressure cracks anybody. So when does that tide come back? When does that other shoe drop where it just becomes too much? That's the question with the Dodgers.
Now, Tony, you shared an alarming stat with me the other day about Oklahoma softball. And when I actually told my wife this, and she was like, wait, what? And I was like, yeah, this is a real stat. Could you share with everybody that stat you share with me, please?
The Oklahoma softball team is so good that 10% of their at-bats end in a home run. That is one of the most broken stats I've ever heard. Like, that's basically batting practice at that point.
I was just about to say that is bad. But think about this for a second, too. They're going to obliterate their home run record. You and I just said that, too. Y'all, Tony and I, this is how much him and I talk about baseball all the time. He said they're on pace to not beat their record, obliterate. That is his words, obliterate their home run record that they only set, 3 years ago.
Yep.
It's an absolute alarming stat. And, you know, I got to tip my cap seriously what Patty's doing over there, because, I mean, she's doing the thing really good. Now, my next question for you, though, now it is still pretty early, but not early enough to start the panic meter. Which teams do you think have their finger on the panic button right now?
I will start by saying that Boston has got to be looking at things closely. I say that as I hold my team accountable, just as I hold every other team accountable. The Boston is starting, like, especially when you have situations like the other day where Garrett Crochet gave up. The team as a whole gave up 11 runs in the first inning against, or first 2 innings against the Twins, which the Twins are definitely in a rebuilding year. So the fact that they're starting 11-8 to start the year isn't anything that anybody should be wrapped up in. They will crumble. That division is going to be between Cleveland and Kansas City. But as far as teams that should panic, I think Detroit should already be concerned. You're supposed to have a solid lineup. You don't. You're supposed to be some consistency. There's not. There's a lot of questions. You've got to really put yourself in a position, because when it comes time for to negotiate with Tarek Skubal, that price is going to be a lot higher for a team that doesn't look like it's ready to perform than for a team that does. Because if you tell Tarek Skubal, look, you can go be second to Garrett Crochet, maybe compete with Garrett Crochet for the starting lineup, but you're going to make, or for the ace position, but you're going to be number 2 at worst, and they're going to give you $10 million less a year. Or you can stay in Detroit and not have any chance at a World Series ring, but they're going to give you an extra 10, 15 above what some of these other teams that are competitors would offer. Tarek Skubal wants to win. So, and that's the same thing is going to happen with the Pirates and Paul Skeens. And he's already given signs that he's got 1 foot out the door. So they should definitely be panicking. I think that Houston should really be concerned. That 7 or 8 game losing streak they just had that they came out of, and really only because of who they're playing right now. Yeah, because they're 2-8 in their last 10. Houston should definitely be panicking. I think that the Mets should be in a constant state of panic because they're spending as much as the top tier teams, but getting zero performance out of it. I think they're in a worse state than Boston right now. I feel like, even though the records are about the same, or they are the same after today. And I think the Giants are another team that should be panicking. The Giants and the Cubs, if we're looking in the National League. These are 2 teams that should be competing for near the top of the division. I feel like the Giants should be better than the Padres in competing, at least putting pressure on the Dodgers, and they're not. I think that the Cubs should be. I think really, if you look at it, the Cubs and the Brewers should be up where the Pirates and the Reds are, because the Reds owner has said he doesn't care about winning. Why is that team that competitive right now? I don't think it stays. I think that the Reds and the Pirates, kind of like what happened last year, they're going to finish the bottom of the division. I'm shocked by how the Cardinals are doing, but I don't think that stands either. So the Giants, the Cubs, the Mets, really a lot of the teams that are in the lower part, the Astros, the Tigers, and the Red Sox should all be looking at that panic button at least right now.
I mean, we can all go ahead and just say the Mets are going to collapse because it's just the Mets thing to do. Shane, go ahead, man.
If you don't build.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Shane.
Man, Tony, we've talked previously about the offense, and man, we've seen the offense be plentiful already early this season. I think what was it 2 days ago, there was something like 13 games, and I think 9 of them, one team at least scored double-digit runs. But I want to put you on the hot corner real quick. Give you 3 topics, about 60 feet 6 inches away, on the pitcher's mound, and get your thoughts on it. Since the season's already started. One, is Mason Miller the most dominant closer since Aroldis Chapman, maybe Rivera, or possibly all time? Number 2, can Jose Soriano keep this going and challenge Skubal, who you just mentioned, possibly for that AL Cy Young? And do you think that the ABS challenge system is working as it's intended to so far? And do you think maybe somehow the success rate plays a part into that Cy Young award at the end of the season?
So with Mason Miller, I will say that he is definitely the most dominant closer to start the season. And when you can throw 102 with location, I think that's, and especially his at 27 years of age, I think he's 27, 28, somewhere in there. There is some dominance there that as long as he takes care of his body, he's going to be around baseball for, another 5 to 10 years. It's very realistic with him as long as he maintains his body and, does the things that he needs to do. I think that right now it's too early to call him up in the terms with like Chapman and Rivera and some of these other guys. I do think that at the end of the year, we're going to be looking at him as being better than Edwin Diaz. I think that he's definitely going to continue to grow in support and the spectacle of Mason Miller. People are going to want to go to see him pitch. They're going to want to sit near the outfield to see him warm up and to be closer to him. And I think that's just good for baseball in general, not just for the Padres. I think it's good for baseball. The Padres have consistent support with their fans. A lot of the tech bros like to go watch the Padres in that park, and it's a great park to watch a ball game in if you're out there anyway. But I think that he's going to be good for them. And is it possible for him to get to that point? Absolutely. I think if he continues, he's going to. Is he there now? No. Jose Soriano, I'm enamored with his the way that he has started the season. I absolutely love him. I think the Angels in general have been a bit of a surprise to start the season. They're definitely one of the teams that I don't think holds, but I think that if you can build off of the backs of guys like Trout and Soriano and actually start to put a decent team together, we may see the Angels resurge back and have a good, nice little streak of a good couple of years. But with what Soriano's doing, a .33 ERA to start the season, and that's over the first. He's pitched 4 games to start the year, and he has managed to, at least 6 innings an outing, not giving up more than 3 hits, only giving up 1 run in those 4 starts, and it was a home run. But he's had 31 strikeouts in 4 games. That's a tremendous number. It's regardless of where you're at. That is a tremendous number. A little over 7 strikeouts a game. I really like it. I think that, especially when you look at like last year, he only had a 4.26 ERA, which wasn't bad, but 3.4 the year before. There's a lot of, and 3.6 in 2023. Like there's a lot you can get out of Soriano. I think if the Angels don't find success, they're going to look at trading him. You kind of have to at some point because he's coming. There's going to be a need. Somebody's going to need an ace like that. And he could be an ace on a lot of lineups right now. And the ABS challenge system is doing exactly what I said it would, and that is making baseball better. I am so happy that this was brought in. This and the pitch clock are the 2 things that are going to be why we don't completely despise the tenure of Robert Manfred. And I love I cannot stand him. There's a tagline for our show that I can't say because you guys are on the radio, but we are not fans of Rob Manfred. And it's the ABS could not have come soon enough. It's not because I disrespect the umpires. It's because we have the technology to get it right and leave the game in the hands of the players. That's where it belongs. It does not belong in the hands of the umpires. So I am so happy that this has come, and I can't wait to see how many things we are able to improve in baseball because we don't have to worry about it anymore.
Amen. Matt, go ahead, man.
All right, Tony, before you get out of here, man, I kind of want to put you on the spot a little bit. If you had to pick today, who are your World Series teams and what makes them built for October baseball?
Man, that's a good question. And I think if I look at it right now, of course, we're going to say the Dodgers are a World Series team, and they should be. With the amount of money that they're spending, they absolutely should be. I would have to say, as I look at across the league, I would say that the Braves are definitely in position right now. They've started strong. They look great. They fixed a lot of issues. They're making Alex Anthopoulos look like a competent GM again. He isn't, but they're at least doing a good job of making it look like he is. As far as on the American League side, it's really hard to say, honestly, because the pack is so close, and there hasn't really been a team that stood out as dominant. But if I had to pick one, I would say it's the New York Yankees. And that is because they are probably about 2 weeks away from having Carlos Rodon and Garrett Cole back in their rotation. And that is the nastiest rotation in the American League once they're back. As far as being built for October, it's the Yankees and the Dodgers, or the Yankees and the Braves. These teams are built for October because that's their goal every year. These are teams that build for October consistently, and so you've got a lot of talent. Even if the youth and inexperience that you have with some of these, like Drake Baldwin in a catching position, inexperience in a playoff situation can be a bit risky, but I think he's made for that. There's a lot of these younger kids now when they're coming up, they've been living on that pressure because they were the reason their team found success as they've come up. So now that they're in that role as in the majors, it's a little easier to transition into it. And so I think that they're definitely built for it just because these guys have that mentality on every position on these teams. These aren't a small market team. Like if you were telling me that the Marlins are going to be in the World Series against the Dodgers, I'm going to take the Dodgers because the Marlins aren't built for that pressure. And so as I look at these teams, they are, and that's what makes them great.
Amen. Go ahead, Shane.
Oh yeah, well, Tony, man, thanks again for joining us, man. We appreciate it, man. Can you let everybody out there that's listening and watching know where they can find you? And I know we mentioned it. You got a big episode coming up tonight, but maybe a couple future episodes as well.
Yep, podcast Name Deferred, 10 p.m. Eastern tonight on the podcast Name Deferred Facebook page or any of the Wire to Wire Sports socials. I am going to be going off on a tangent about what happened with Jaron Duran. It's something that we shouldn't have to talk about continuously, and I'm going to share some stuff. It's going to be a very real conversation, and I'm going to teach your kids some big words if you don't wear headphones. I'm just going to tell you that now. As far as future episodes, we have been talking a lot. We are going to be working on some top past moments in baseball. We're going to talk about in future episodes, and some moments that almost were. You know, if you change one thing, like one of the things that I'm going to talk about when we get to that is if Buckner gets that ground ball in the Buckner game, do the Red Sox break the curse at that point? And so just kind of looking at some of those what if moments and kind of just fantasizing for a little bit, because I think those are fun conversations for sports fans to have and just be in that moment and kind of think about that. And we're going to get into talking about the AUSL and the Women's Professional Baseball League. The AUSL is only 6 weeks away from launching for this season. And so those are coming in, especially now that we're going to be getting that draft here really quick. A couple of softball players like from Tennessee, and I think one other school, they've already gotten golden tickets. They're going to the AUSL. I like where both of these products are going. I don't know that both of them survive 10 years. And that's one of the things that we're going to end up talking about with this is if we see which one going longer. And I think it's the AUSL personally. But we're going to get into that and talk about some of those things and kind of looking towards the future as well as appreciating the past and really getting into what the meat of baseball season is as things start to take shape for our teams.
I'm definitely tuning in because I had already told you I have something that is directly correlated to what you're talking about. And yeah, we shouldn't have to continue talking about this every day. But Tony, man, I appreciate you as always, my friend. And we'll talk to you soon. Sound good, brother?
I appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me on. I'll see you next time.
Yes, sir. Take care. All right, guys. It's always good to have Tony on. So let's get into it now. The NHL regular season campaign, y'all, it has come and it has come to an end as well. We saw some great stories actually happen, some great finishes. So how about this, y'all? Buffalo, Philadelphia, the LA Kings all clinched that ever proverbial playoff spot. One team in particular hadn't clinched in over almost 15 years, and that was Buffalo. Philadelphia's been 6 years. The Kings, they clinched, but they don't make it anywhere ever. So that was really cool to see that. But we also saw, now this is crazy stat line too. Remember I asked you guys this in the beginning, what teams do you think could fall off on the second half? And we saw a lot of teams fall off in the second half. Now I got a story I want to talk about with you guys, and this just pays homage to why we like hockey so much. And actually, another story transpired today I want to talk about as well. But the Florida Panthers, and you guys know this is very hard for me to talk about them because they're my rival. I am the Tampa Bay Lightning fan. But the goalie for the New York Rangers has ended his NHL career after a long 19 years. Fantastic, Hall of Fame worthy career, absolutely. But this is what's really cool. So the entire Florida Panthers team, everyone, including the coaching staff, all were your aunt just said hi to you, by the way, Shane. She said, "Hi, Shane, love you. You're a great aunt, Annette." So this was really cool to see. They waited and they all did this curtain call to him come out. He came out and the entire Florida Panthers team congratulated him, gave him hugs, high fives. They even gave him a plaque. Just really cool moment on there. Well, then there was another story that came on the news tonight, actually. Calgary, another team that it's hard for me to cheer because they used to be the Atlanta Flames. Now they're the Calgary Flames. So the goalie, when he was younger, the LA Kings goalie was his idol. He had a sign. He gave him his stick. Well, guess what? There was a young player, a young fan, who had a sign saying, "You're my idol," and blah, blah, blah. I idolize my goalieing a game after you. Gave him his stick as well. So it just goes to show how cool that is with hockey. But, this NHL season was one for the ages. So I'm going to ask both of you, and I'm going to start with you, Shane, because you're the big Carolina Hurricane guy. What would you give your overall grade of this NHL season? And then also, who do you think, and you got to put your bias aside because we all have bias, but who do you think could realistically represent the East Conference as well as the Western Conference in the Stanley Cup Finals?
Well, man, this season's been great. The sea in general, when you look at it, I think this year was the first year in like 3 decades that goalie save percentage was under 900 for the year across all teams in the regular season. So definitely fan interest peaked this year, as we spoke about before plenty of times. But you score goals just like in baseball, scoring runs, scoring goals. People are going to show up and watch that. So definitely great to see. But as you're talking about heading into the playoffs, I think we got Buffalo and Dallas on tonight that kind of conclude the regular season. Depending on what Buffalo does tonight, they still got an outside shot to get that number 1 seed.
Oh, they got the Atlantic Division. Yes.
Well, no, I'm talking about in the East overall.
Oh, yeah.
But so depending on what happens tonight between the points scored and all that stuff, it kind of comes down to it. But definitely the way the Sabres are playing, heading into the playoffs, really gets you going. But that number 1 or 2 seed on the other side, Carolina, be it my bias and all, defensively, they're one of the better teams coming into the playoffs. And we know Carolina's been there last year and kind of rode a wave of defense through the playoffs. So definitely look out for those 2 teams. Man, I tell you, the Canadians in the East are really starting to hit. Look for them to be that surprise team. In the West, I'm looking at Dallas and Colorado to kind of run the West. It's going to be one of those 2 teams, and it just depends on who's going to put up the goals. So definitely, I think as I spoke with somebody earlier today while I was out, we were talking about it. He's like, man, the Eastern Conference is so jam packed. Like their playoff teams are all competitive with each other and can play with anybody in the league. But then outside of the top 2 or 3 in the West, you really don't have anybody. So that's definitely what I'm looking to come down to. Buffalo, Carolina, Dallas, Colorado. Just depends on how they respond coming into the playoffs.
I agree. I mean, this is going to be, I think, Stanley Cup final playoffs, one for the ages. What about you, Matt? Who do you think represents the East Conference and who represents the West Conference in the Stanley Cup finals?
For the Eastern
Your
Conference,
mic's off. Yeah, you sound very far away.
Is this better?
No.
No.
Oh man, hold on.
Look,
While we're waiting on Matt
earlier.
Here's my thinking on this, okay, Shane, and I want you to tell me what you think on this one. So we know it's so well documented, and if you don't know this by now, you're again living under that proverbial rock that we always proclaim to say. So no team has ever won the President's Trophy and the Stanley Cup in the same year. No one has ever done it, and it's gone on for a long time. Colorado did win the President's Trophy, but if you guys look at this too, Colorado as of late, they look below human. They don't look insanely crazy. Now they do have an insanely crazy player in Nathan McKinnon, but I just don't see Colorado making it to the Stanley Cup. I do see. I like what you said about Dallas, though, Shane. I could see realistically Dallas being the team to represent from the West. The East, it is so you right. It is a backlog. It's so tightly niched right now. There's so many great opportunities. I mean, you have the realistic possibility that Buffalo could be in the finals. You have Tampa Bay. You have Carolina. I mean, there's just so many great teams out there. The team I think that will win the East is going to be decided after this first round. I don't care who it is. And there's Lily barking. Whoever it is, I don't care what it is. Whoever comes away, resounding as the winner of the first round, they will be the ones that represent the East. What about, all right, so Matt, now that your mic is fixed, who do you think represents the Eastern Conference, and then who do you think represents the Western Conference in the Stanley Cup?
Testing. Is my mic good?
Yes, your mic is good.
All right, man. In the East, man, honestly, after looking through all the teams, man, top to bottom, I got to go with Carolina here, man. They have an elite system, probably the best structured team in hockey, a strong two-way play, depth all across all the lines.
Are you talking about the same team that we're talking about?
Yes, I am.
I'm gonna go to sleep tonight and dream good about these Hurricanes chance in the playoffs.
I'm telling you, man. Watch. I'm telling you, playoffs are always different. Playoffs are always
a whole different season.
It's a whole different season, man. Whole different season. So, and as far as the West, man, I can see, I can see Colorado, or Dallas coming out. Dallas, well balanced roster. They can play fast, or they can play physical or defensively. They're built how you exactly win in the playoffs. So I can see Dallas coming from the West. And if they do, I wouldn't be surprised. But of course, also like I said prior, Colorado too are probably my two favorites.
That's interesting you say that. Look, John from the Pitch Grid said he could see Buffalo and Minnesota. That would actually be pretty cool, considering the fact that, again, Buffalo, and Shane, this too, Buffalo is the laughing stock of the NHL. They've been the laughing stock for as long as I can remember. I mean, it's been 15 years since they've had the opportunity to be in the playoffs. And the fact that they won the Atlantic, the fact that they scored over 108 points total is pretty remarkable. So it's anybody's toss up. What do you guys think in the comments? Let us know.
I think as we're mentioning that, I think definitely, as the season's gone, we're going to have to talk about goalie play in the playoffs. Goalies are going to be a big deal in this playoffs coming up. So look at some of those stats and look at some of those teams to be hot coming into the playoffs as well.
That's right. You're about to see some amazing playoff hockey. All right, let's get into the next topic. This one I'm actually really excited to share. All right, so there's two pictures. that I have. The first one, make sure this is the right one. Yes. Let me turn the banner off so you guys can see it better. All right. This is the Major League Baseball's greatest teams who have not won or who do not win the World Series, or legendary teams that fell short. Everybody knows the first team that's on this list is the 2001 Seattle team, an absolute juggernaut of a team that came in the wrong time. They got cold at the wrong time in the playoffs, and they got really badly. I think, Shane, correct me, they were swept, weren't they?
Who was that?
The Seattle Mariners in 2001. Remember, they're rated as one of the best teams that never won a World Series.
I don't know if they were swept, but I know it wasn't really a competitive deal.
Yeah, it was pretty disappointing. But then, as you see, there's a lot of listing here. Right here, you're looking at the 1994 Montreal Expos, and Matt, you know what happened in '94, right?
What happened in '94, Brandon?
It was the Major League Baseball strike. This team was on pace to have the best record in baseball at the time. They were 74-40 and the season ended because of the strike. It was insane. Obviously the rest is history. We don't see, Montreal is no longer in existence. The team now is the Washington Nationals. But then let's look at this next list. It's the MLB's most shocking team records. These are literally the records from the absolute jokes of seasons. Okay. The first one right here is the worst one that you will ever see. It'll never be duplicated again because of the way the rules are and the way the scheduling is. Cleveland Spiders, which is everybody knows is now the Cleveland Indians. It was back in 1899. They went 20-134. Now look here though, the 1969 New York Mets. They had 162 and they didn't get it. They didn't win the World Series. It's just that they were such a loaded team and they didn't get to go anywhere. But then look at the Chicago White Sox, Matt, 41-21. You know, this was an absolute laughing stock just a couple of years ago. But looking at these two graphics right here, what stands out most to you guys both? And I'm going to start with you, Matt. What stands out most to you with regards to the way that this looks as some of the worst records versus also some teams who had the best records who never won the World Series? Which one stands out to you most?
That Mets. What was that? They won after having the worst. That one from laughing stock to the World Series champions.
They went. No, they weren't necessarily the laughing stock.
In '68, they did have the worst record in Major League Baseball. So
60, yeah, and they also look at 62. And 62 is 40-120.
But they came back and won in '69. Is kind of
crazy.
A big deal. Yeah,
that's crazy. That's crazy.
That's an alarming stat. And look, we've seen this too. Also, Shane, in Atlanta. Remember, 1988, the Atlanta Braves were an absolute laughing stock, and then '89 they started that move. They went from worst to first, and that's what proverbially started the 1990s like forever dynasty. But what stands out to you also, Matt, with regards to this graphic right here?
Huh.
Because there's a lot of good names on this list.
There
really is.
Dang. Cleveland Indians. Oh my gosh. We got the Cardinals. Ooh, Philadelphia A's, 1931. Jesus. 1906 Chicago Cubs. Ooh. I don't know. What stands out? They're all terrible.
Look at 95 Cleveland Indians. Why is that so significant? Well, the reason being is, and Shane knows this too, it's the year the Atlanta Braves won the World Series. And look, Shane's got the ball cap on to show you. But yes, the Atlanta Braves won the World Series in 95. But guess what, though, Matt? Shane knows this too. I don't know if you know this, but if you don't, this is a really crazy stat. Almost every game in the 95 World Series between the Atlanta Braves and the Cleveland Indians was a one-run game. One run. It's the most that's ever compiled or has happened for Major League Baseball. But it's really cool. What do you think about this list, though, too, Shane? Like, I mean, you see this, and then you see that. Which one stands out to you? Which one stands out to you most?
Well, I'm only going to pick one off of each slide there. when it comes to losing and then bouncing back, as far as comebacks go, man, that 2023 Arizona Diamondback team, man, they were 11 losses shy of that Chicago White Sox record that you showed in 2024. They had 110 losses, then came back and played a tough DS or CS
Yes,
against
yes.
against the great Dodgers team. But so that one surprised me on that slide. The next slide, the one that definitely surprised me was
Is it this one?
that '04 Cardinals team. Man, I remember EA Sports had 2005 MLB baseball out, and man, I would pick the Cardinals every time. I mean, they had a stacked lineup, and then to lose the World Series, and I was just extremely disappointing for that caliber team. I mean, as you see in the comment right there, they had 3 MVP candidates. And when they say candidates, they mean like within the top 6 or 7 in the whole league for MVP voting. So definitely those two on each side definitely surprised me the most.
Yeah, it's pretty shocking. But I will also say this, and then we have a special guest coming on to talk to Matt because we love him coming on. But people often sit there and say, "Well, the Cleveland Indians." So here's a crazy stat, and I've already said it in the comments, but the longest team without a championship drought right now is now belonging to the Cleveland Indians Guardians at 77 years. They haven't won a World Series since 1948 when they played the Boston Braves. So do I think the Expos survive if they? Yes, actually I do, John. I really do. I think that if we did not have a strike in 1994, we would still see the Montreal Expos to this day. But I will also say this: Montreal they do not fully invest in their teams. It's very good with it's very recognizable as well with the Montreal Canadiens. They don't invest wisely. It's just part of the French government. It's just unfortunately that way, but still great overall. All right, let's go real quick before we bring our guests on. What a talented WNBA draft we just witnessed. A lot of big names went off the boards. A record was set actually by an entire starting 5 getting drafted from one university. It ended up being 6 total. Thank you to UCLA. But this entire offseason really for the WNBA has been electrifying, to say the least. Now that we have seen the end of the lockout threat, now that we've seen the free agency take place, now that we've seen the WNBA draft happen, the next thing we're going to have to look forward to, preseason workouts, preseason play, and then in-season play, the Commissioner's Cup. So I want to, real quick, I'm going to ask you, Shane, what is your overall grades for this offseason for the WNBA, and who do you think could be your sleeper going into this campaign?
As far as sleepers go, we still got a little way to see how these teams kind of gel, in my opinion, on that kind of deal. But man, off-season grade for the WNBA as a whole is going to be, I'm going to give it a B plus. For what they had to do to come to a CBA agreement and then have an abbreviated kind of off season leading up after an actual agreement took place, to still get this season done on time with the amount that we've seen go on this off season already, is definitely worth noting. That the WNBA is on the right path to do it right. So definitely great to see, but it'll be interesting to see. We didn't see a lot in this WNBA draft. That's kind of that one player can come in and kind of take over a team and put them into that playoff contention hope. But there was talent there, and now they're paired with some pretty great players. So we'll definitely see how it goes.
Yeah, absolutely. We're waiting for Matt because I don't know where he disappeared to. He probably went to the restroom. What do you guys think is the fastest growing sport in America? Yes, it is pickleball. As everybody likes to call it, the lazy person's tennis. Well, guess what? ESPN is going to air a national tournament of pickleball, and it'll actually feature some of the greats from tennis, Andre Agassi. But guess what? We have one person who is going to win the pickleball challenge. He is in backstage right now. And now when he comes on, you guys are going to laugh because this gentleman will win every pickleball challenge because, he's got he's got the attire for it. He's got the racket for it, the gear, everything. Snowman, the man who could beat all of us in pickleball. Man,
don't you even think of telling that lie. Matter of fact, I'm glad you started with that because it allows me to ask the following question. Who told this lie? Brandon, you should know better by now that I'd be prepared.
I know that's why I'm laughing. Look, I'm actually crying.
Me and pickleball have not met each other, have not flirted with each other, haven't seen each other, and ain't gonna see each other either. All right, I never knew what in the all types of Vita blue, yellow bellied, red blooded hell pickleball was until someone explained it to me. And even then, I'm about as twisted as I'm as clear as a pretzel with it.
It's people sit there and they call it the lazy person's tennis. Oh man, but did you know this though? If you go to like Academy Sports or Dick's Sporting Goods, do you know some of these rackets, I call them air quotation rackets, they cost like $200 to $400.
They're paddles, they're not rackets.
What are these rackets? Base stealing gloves extended?
I don't know. They
look like base stealing gloves.
But Snowman, the guy just came back and going to the restroom. He'd happy to tell you he wants to get the socks on, and he wants to challenge you to a pickleball match.
You are out of your racket.
I don't know what
you are. Given the fact, I'm not surprised he would actually say. Given the fact that Matt Thomas 2 years ago tried to defend Matt Uberfools to my face.
Yes, he did. I remember that too. Boy, do I! And it's funny too, Matt. Snowman said he was looking for that clip because he remembered you defending Matt Eberflus.
You can't look for what does not exist.
He found it though.
Oh, it exists, my brother.
He found it.
Trust me. If anybody's going to find that thing, it's going to be me. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
You can't look for what doesn't exist. Huh? Can we say the same about LeBron James's career?
Come on now, we're not going to do
Ronnie
that.
James.
We're not going to disrespect the number one.
Oh, yes, we are.
Number one bucket getter in the league. Top 5 in the
The number one bucket getter in the league. Listen, Matthew, let me shut this down right now. The number one bucket getter in the league wears 30, not 23.
Of all time, even LeBron James is the number one scorer in the league of all time. Don't know what you want. No. When you look at the record books, it's his name as number one most points scored in NBA history.
Repeating my sentence.
Here's the thing.
Since I have these sounds ready, I may as well unleash them since I get to pick on you guys. And as far as that goes, we need to see it. Period.
Look. Now, my father left this world when I was a tender age of 6 or 7 years old. But one thing that he will say that will always resonate with me is that men lie, women lie, but numbers do not lie.
These do. These numbers are lying more than the city of Cleveland and its sports teams.
Oh my goodness!
Look, everybody's hating distaste for LeBron James.
Look,
I understand.
LeBron James is about as false as the Cleveland Indians right now. I know it's the Cleveland Guardians, but I'm old.
9 straight NBA Finals appearances, 4 rings.
What? 9 straight? Wait. Where do you get 9 straight?
Yeah, Brandon, 9 straight NBA Finals appearances.
Brandon,
yes.
Brandon, I'll take care of this for you. Give me this camera. Matthew and Matt's laughing already. Matthew, I hate to put this to rest before I even get a chance to pick on you, but yeah, LeBron may have made it to 9 straight finals. Yay. Here's the problem. He lost 6 of them.
I mean,
I'm done.
Anybody that won against a team that has Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Klay Thompson, I mean, you're not going to beat that team. Nobody's going to beat that team. Nobody's going to beat the team.
Matt, first of all, I mean this kiddingly. You talk too much. Second of all,
when has Matt ever said that?
Wait, I can't say that Matt talks too much because there's a pretty lady behind me that would walk in front of this camera and say the same thing to me. In fact, she has for the past 8 years, okay? And while I'm kidding around with Matt, I have a song for you, and it sounds like this. Use a troll. Troll! Use a troll.
Look. I troll about Bronny James a lot. I love trolling about Bronny James.
He does it to me. That's why.
I do. But we're not gonna sit here and disrespect LeBron James's career. That's asinine.
LeBron's never had it. Listen, let me put this to rest. LeBron James is a fabulous athlete. Okay? I have never denied that. I never will deny that. But as far as basketball goes, LeBron James sucks.
You cannot suck your way into number 1 scorer of all time, top 5 in assists of all time, top 5 in rebounds of all time. You cannot suck your way into that. It's impossible.
I have a spelling for LeBron James. If you want to talk about records, and yes, I am seriously trolling here just to get y'all to laugh. No, it's this.
Hemorrhoid. Lebron. Hemorrhoid.
You are correct, sir.
Thank you. I retire.
Oh my goodness, I love it. Snowman, we gotta let you go some time, but man, can you let everybody know when you're on what's on tap for your episodes, man? Because I need everybody to tune in.
A wrap up of the WNBA.
He's been saving that one. That's a good one. He's been saving it.
You know what? I just got this one recently. Okay. Tomorrow we gotta wrap up of the WNBA draft. We talked some NHL on Droid's power play as the Vegas Golden Knights look to clinch the Pacific Division tonight. The Sabres and the Stars are wrestling. We'll have all that tomorrow. I got some more things to say about the NBA, and they should eliminate the play-in tournament, the in-season tournament, just make it a full 82-game schedule and be done with it. And they should have, and the NBA should have never left Seattle. All that hour 2 tomorrow. We start at 10 a.m. I know, Matt. I know. We start at 10 a.m. Eastern time, and I even got a few things to say about Shea Gilgeous-Alexander and the Oklahoma City Thunder. And they ain't gonna like it.
I dig it.
Because OKC will not repeat as champions.
That's a very real possibility. Let everybody know where they can find you, please.
YouTube.com/@Snowman Multimedia is where everybody can find me.
Yes, sir. Snowman, thank you as always, sir. And we'll talk soon. Sound good, man?
Thank you much.
Yes, sir, brother.
We will.
Sir.
As always.
Oh, man. Always good to see Snowman. We had to bring him on just to troll you a little bit, Matt. But Shane has a sports story to share. Shane, go ahead, man.
Oh, yeah. Well, as we talked about a little bit with
Cassie.
WNBA.
Who's here?
A second ago.
Huh?
And all that. I want to talk about something that happened during the WNBA draft. We saw Flau'jae Johnson get traded not an hour after she was picked. So it got me thinking about some of the most memorable kind of draft night trades that we've seen in history. I will go ahead and put this disclaimer out there. This trade was agreed upon before any athlete pick was ever made. So when you start talking about tampering and all that kind of stuff, that's not really the situation with that one. But man, it's happened a few times in our lifetime and in the past. And I wanted to highlight some of them. With the NFL, we all remember the Phillip Rivers, Eli Manning kind of San Diego, New York Giants debacle that they had. And then we also saw the Saints give up 8 draft picks for Ricky Williams. We kind of saw how that worked out.
Stop, Matt.
You know, then you get into the NBA. The St. Louis Hawks back in the day. They traded Bill Russell to the Celtics for a couple players. That completely changed the NBA in the 1960s. So you look at that one, and then of course, in '96, the Hornets give away Kobe, and that sets up the Lakers dynasties of the 2000s. Those are just to name a few. But I want to give Brandon, your and Matt's thoughts on this as well. Some of the ones that you remember, and kind of the biggest draft trades that you see kind of on draft night in history.
Definitely. You've already mentioned it, but I'm definitely going to mention it because people in New Orleans still hate Ditka to this day. Definitely when they traded all their picks to get Ricky Williams, who likes to light it up one too many times. God, there's been so many crazy trades that have happened.
The Browns for Julio Jones,
Yeah, and the Browns kicked themselves in the backside because they thought they were getting the world to give that possession to get Julio Jones, and then Julio Jones got the last laugh. Oh my God!
What did they trade for Michael Vick? What did the Falcons trade to move up to get to Michael Vick? Because I know they moved up. They moved up to that number 1 spot.
They moved the number 1 spot. Who? I can't remember. It's been so long.
Sure. A big one I can remember. What the Rams, trading up and getting Marshall Falk.
Yep, I remember that one.
Which eventually set off the greatest show on turf.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what the Deshaun Watson trade's another one.
Here's one you didn't mention: Peyton Manning and Ryan Leaf. Just imagine if Peyton Manning was actually drafted by the San Diego Chargers, Ryan Leaf to the New York Giants. Would we have had that conversation of Peyton Manning being a Hall of Famer? That's a real possibility. It's all there's always those what ifs in the world. So really thought provoking. Dadgum. People are in the chat. Let us know if you can remember, what did the Atlanta Falcons give up to get Michael Vick? Because I can't remember. I know Tim Dwight was not until later on, until like the 99, I believe. But let us know what it was, because I can't remember very well. Oh man, that's a head scratcher. But good. I like that. Man, that's a good one. I like it. Good job, Shane. Matt, give us your sports story.
Yes, as Snowman alluded to, he said he wanted to see the NBA play-in get taken away. Well, folks, yesterday we had 2 really darn good NBA play-in games, man, that both went down to the wire. The first one, and I know Shane is happy about, is
literally went to the wire. That one you're about to mention.
Yeah, the Heat versus Hornets.
The last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter and all of overtime. That was a straight back and forth.
Great game.
Showdown.
Great game. I mean, even though LaMelo took out Bam Adebayo, man, well, let's say that for another day. He took him out in the second quarter, man. I think he had kind of a lead then, but took him out. So he had to find a way, and they found it in I think his name is not Donovan Mitchell, but Damian Mitchell. First round pick from Baylor. He was part of a Baylor squad that went deep in the tourney, but he had 28 points, man, hitting all kinds of godly layups off of the glass. But when all was said and done, man,
the last one, it
looked bleak. Yeah, it looked when it looked bleak. Kobe White came in and was destruction.
He was on lights out on fire. He was just throwing them. And they were. You couldn't pay to miss that shit.
When Duke couldn't get it done for you, it was Con. You went to UNC with Kobe.
God, he was lights out.
And we get it, man. Khan is a rookie. He hasn't been to games like this. He's played the most games he's ever played in his life up to this point. So he's gonna
19.
Yeah, he's gonna hit that ball, be fatigued. But Kobe White sent it to overtime with a crazy 3, man. He didn't even have to shoot a 3, but he shot a 3 and sent it to overtime. And then LaMelo Ball, man, had a costly turnover in that game. And caused the Heat to go up, but then LaMelo redeemed himself and hit that game in a layup in overtime, man. So great game between the Heat and Hornets in the playing. And then the second game with the Trailblazers and Suns. I mean, in the fourth quarter with 6 minutes to go, the Suns were up I think it was 105 to 89, and then the Blazers went on a crazy run and
they went on a blaze.
Yeah, Blazers went blazing hot and ended up winning 114 and 110. Terrible way for the Suns to lose. Danny Adija, however you say his name, Danny Addy, whatever, had 41 points. And this is He's guy, amazing. He was a 6th pick in the draft a few seasons ago by the Washington Wizards, and they just straight up gave him away for cookies and cream. So he's leading Portland to the playoffs, man, and dropping 41 points, man, in the playoff game. 41 points, 7 rebounds, and 12 assists, might I add. So got to give it to the Trailblazers. But yeah, we had some 2 great games, man. And here's the thing. The statistics don't even count because they're playing games. We'll probably never, ever have seen any highlights or statistics from these games ever again. So,
hey, it was true. Hey, real quick, let's give a special shout out to our sponsor, Kalama Cuisine. Yes, this is my good friend Bobby, based in the great state of Hawaii. More specifically, he is in Honolulu, but he also alternates between Halaba and Haleiwa. Haleiwa is on the north shore of Oahu, but he lives on Oahu. But yes, he Waimanalo. He does a lot of stuff with the Halava region, which is where the new Aloha Stadium is going to be built, which we are being flown out to, by the way. Again, so if you're out in the state of Hawaii, just letting you guys know, the opening weekend at New Aloha Stadium, you will see all 4 of us there for the entire week. We're going to broadcast all 3 episodes from the state of Hawaii, and we're also going to be at the game because they are honoring us. So, yes, now comes everybody's favorite segment. It is the honorable mentions, where we give you 2 to 5 sports stories that the mainstream media doesn't cover enough of, or they just don't cover, but we do because it's in our name. We are the Sportz Nuts, and we're nuts about sports. My first honorable mention goes out to seeing how packed it was this year at the WNBA draft. They said this will actually be the last year being held at the current venue because they ran out of room to host. This is a very exciting news. Women's sports continues to show the ultimate growth in the right direction. So definitely tip your caps to what is transpiring in the WNBA next year. They haven't announced where they're going to host the 27 draft, but it's going to be somewhere where there's a lot more people sit to. So congratulations to all involved. Shane, give us your first honorable mention, please.
Well, my first honorable mention is going to go out to the Atlanta Braves. What a difference a year makes, right? 2025, the Atlanta Braves were the very last MLB team to secure a win. And right now, depends on what they do tonight, they're still the last MLB team not to lose a series. So you get 3-game series, you win 2 out of those 3, that you win the series. So be it they're not undefeated, still haven't lost a series. So like I said, what a difference a year makes, and let's keep it going, guys.
Absolutely, and they're actually up right now on the Miami Marlins. It is 2-0, but it is the 6th. So let's see. All right, Matt, give us your first honorable mention.
My first honorable mention is going to go to, it's a big congratulations to Ozzie Fudd, who was the first pick in the WNBA draft, to the Detroit Wings. So, Wings, right? Detroit Wings?
Yes, it's the Dallas Wings.
I'm sorry, that's the Detroit. Wow. I'm thinking
the Detroit team does not come back until 2031, I believe.
Yeah, the Dallas Wings. I'm sorry about that. The Dallas Wings.
That's the Detroit Shock. But yeah,
she was the first pick in the draft. So, with the first pick comes lofty expectations. Paige Beckers was the first pick in the draft last year, right? Yes, Dallas for back-to-back number 1 picks just kind of solidified their future.
No, back-to-back, because remember they had Cooper Flagg too. Dallas, for whatever reason, is getting awarded with all the big names and all the big picks.
You trade Luka away, man, and you get rewarded, I guess. So let's can't wait to see what we get when we for trading Trey away. But yeah, man, shout out to that, man. Hopefully, the UConn duo that won. I think they won the championship.
They did
with Gino. They get to reunite in Dallas, and they get to.
They're part of that 90-game winning streak too.
Yeah. So shout out to that Ozzie Fudd.
Yeah, absolutely. My second honorable mention goes out to a very special moment, and now it is well documented. Like I said, I do not like the Florida Panthers, They are my rival, but I want to give a special shout out because the fact that they opened their arms for the retiring New York Rangers goalie. That was such an amazing moment. It actually was such a moving moment. It brought him to tears. So it was really cool to see that, and they took a lot of pictures with it, and they gave him a plaque at the end. And, people, this is why we always sit there and say, if you need an excuse to love hockey, boy, Matt, you just got really dark all of a sudden. For people who, we always sit and say, this is why we love hockey so much, is just go look at what they do. And also at the end of the season and any playoff games, any series, they shake each other's hands. They line up in the center of the ice. They hold their helmets on their left side or the right side, and they shake each other's hands, pat each other. And then obviously, like I told you guys today about the Calgary Flame goalie giving his stick to a young future goalie was just really special. Hockey is unlike any other sport there is. It's still, in theory, a gentleman's sport. Yes, it's brutal, but it's still a gentleman's sport. So shout out to, and this will be the last time you ever hear me say this, but shout out to the Florida Panthers for doing what they did with honoring such an illustrious, amazing career as the New York Rangers goalie has, which, by the way, they are playing tonight. He is playing. They are beating the Tampa Bay Lightning, but Lightning is not playing, and they're not playing anybody, and the Rangers are at 4-1, but shout out to them, absolutely. Shane, give us your next honorable mention, please.
Well, my second honorable mention is going to go out to the south side of Chicago. We had Snowman on, so I figure it'd be right to go ahead and shout them out. Man, the White Sox announced that on August 11th, when they played the Reds, they will have a special promotion to kind of honor I guess you would say semi-famous person, but Chicago native, longtime White Sox fan, Pope Leo. They're going to roll out special hats, commemorative, and all fans that attend the game have a chance to receive the special promotion. So it's not just a limited number kind of deal. So definitely shout out to the Chicago White Sox, kind of honoring one of their longtime fans, be it, Pope Leo.
Absolutely. And by the way, happy National Jackie Robinson Day. Today is the day that Jackie Robinson.
You hush your mouth.
Oh, all right. Sorry.
Just wait one more.
My bad. All right, Sam. I'm about to say Sam. I about called you Sam, Matt. Matt, give us your next honorable mention, please.
Oh man, shout out to the NFL for getting a jump on this. For those who don't know, the NFL started onboarding potential replacement officials because the collective bargaining agreement that they have with the NFL Referee Association, is expiring, coming into a head. So to avoid that season when we had the crazy replacement refs, as you guys remember, the one that had the touchdown,
and the incomplete at the same time. Yeah.
Yes. They're trying to avoid that, so they're already training their referees right now. They're replacing refs right now as we speak. So just in case they have to use them, so they're already training them. So shout out to the NFL for doing that and getting ready.
Absolutely. Sorry, Shane, I mean to do that. My next honorable mention goes out to Sam Houston State. Remember, we actually had Sam Houston State on our show. They are building a $180 million indoor multi-purpose practice facility. It'll be used for football, part for basketball, both men's and women's. And they are also going to be upgrading their football facilities in the coming years. They have made mention that they could be making it a domed facility. Look, where Sam Houston State is, you look right down the road and you actually see a correctional facility. So rightfully so, you want to have a dome because you don't want to be forever linked to something like that. But they are also working on getting the stadium to hold between 45,000 and 60,000. Right now it only holds 30. So the school is definitely trying to work to make it a premier program in the Conference USA. However, this just came down yesterday. Sam Houston State has reached out to the ACC and the Big 12 about potentially joining. So we'll see how that happens. Maybe one of them will take them. Who doesn't? Who knows? Shane, give us your next honorable mention, please.
Okay, well, as Brandon likes to just go ahead and just take one from everybody, but
hey, I didn't know you were going to do this one.
All jokes aside, though, my third honorable mention is going to shout out the MLB, and also I'm going to shout out the UCLA Bruins. On Tuesday, they donned a special Jackie Robinson throwback uniform, all wore number 42. As today, all MLB teams wear the number 42 in honor of Jackie Robinson. Jackie Robinson, in 1947 broke the color barrier in the Major League Baseball, but also played for the Bruins from 1939 to 1941. He was a four-sport athlete for the Bruins, and baseball wasn't even his best sport. He excelled extremely in his other three sports, football, basketball, and track. It's great to see that he stuck out with baseball, so we can have this day in remembrance of such a great player. And, with only a few seasons ago, putting the Negro League stats into the Major League record books, definitely well-deserving, and a day in remembrance for not only Jackie Robinson, but all those players that were at that time, fighting not only for a spot on the baseball diamond, but for their life in some certain situations. So definitely, for all the baseball fans out there, happy Jackie Robinson Day.
Yes. Matt, give us your next honorable mention, please.
I gave the NFL some love for, doing stuff from the offices. So I'm going to give the NBA a little bit of love. The NBA is investigating LaMelo Ball's trip of Bam Adebayo, as you heard me mention earlier. That trip caused Bam to check out of the game early, man. It kind of, I won't say it swayed the game, but it put both teams kind of on an even playing ground. So the NBA is looking to see if it was purposely done. Probably, and if they see that it was purposely done, they can upgrade that LaMelo foul to like a flagrant 1 or a flagrant 2, which could, result in a suspension if he got one more of those flagrant 2s. So, shout out to the NBA for doing their due diligence.
So now ESPN did say that the NBA has already said that they're not going to issue any suspensions per se. It'll be more the fines, but we'll see. So yes, but good one. Like that. My last honorable mention goes out to everything that we have going on here with the sports. There's a very good reason why I'm shouting this out. We just surpassed, I misread. It's 6,600 subscribers on YouTube. We have 1,500 followers on Facebook, 900 followers on Twitter, 1,800 followers on Instagram, and 2,500 followers on TikTok. Now, the fun does not stop here, so let's keep us growing. Now, our year-end goal is still 8,500 subscribers on YouTube, and it is a very real goal. We could even surpass that. Now, our year-end goal for Facebook followers is 2,500. Twitter would like to get it to 25, as well as TikTok, get it to 5,500, and Instagram to 5,000. And let's get our views up to the 1 million mark before the end of this year. We are currently at 600,000, so we're getting there. So just want to give a special shout out to Matt, to Shane, to our guy Ben. Ben does not usually come on Wednesdays because he does family obligations. No worries, but Ben is always here to spirit with you guys. So that's my final honorable mention. Shane, give us your final honorable mention, please, sir.
Well, my last honorable mention, of course, is going to go out to the Charlotte Hornets. But not only the team that won the play-in game last night, after being a laughingstock of the league for the last 5 years, to put it kind of lightly, might be even more than that. It's going to go to them as a whole organization. The Greensboro Swarm came out this year, and that is Charlotte's G League team, and they won the G League finals. So definitely want to shout them out. Seems like the Hornets organization might be on a swing up. It was definitely enjoyed from my seat here, and as we saw at the Hive last night, it was definitely buzzing. Kind of like the baby was too, but we'll save that for another time as well. But definitely shout out Charlotte Hornets. Just another game when you get in that series with Detroit.
Absolutely. Matt, give us your final honorable mention, please.
This one I have to give a shout out, man, to the Detroit Tigers rookie, Kevin McGonigal. He just signed, he's a rookie now, guys, 21 years old, and he's a rookie. Well, the team said they saw enough to sign him to an 8-year, $150 million contract. That's going to start next year. So, shout out to the young prospect, getting his money, and shout out to Detroit, man, for finally maybe doing something right. So we'll see how that goes.
Hey, absolutely. And we'll everybody also know we are trying to get. I'm talking to the PA announcer for the Charlotte Hornets. His name is Sean, and Sean actually is going to be coming on the show. I can tell you. Let's see here. His name is Sean Williams. He is the PA announcer for the Charlotte Hornets. So we're close to getting him on. So just
need to get that guy Eric. What's his name? Eric Collins, I think. The announcer. You know, like, oh God, Mellow Ball.
You can ask Sean about it. Ask him about it. You know. So we'll see.
I think it's Eric Collins. That dude's hilarious, man. Best commentator in the game. Right now.
All of them are. Hey, now the time is coming up, y'all, and the contest we have going on now is still in effect, but we are 1 week away from the ending of it. We want you to help give us an opportunity to grow. Give us 1 or 2 permanent segment ideas for the show. You know how we have the honorable mentions? Do something similar to that. Now you can send your ideas via email to BrandonKeelerOnRadio@gmail.com or message us on all of our socials. Again, I do this because Matt is, I've known Matt for so many years, but don't expect a response from Matt because Matt told us in the beginning of this year, new year, new me, I'll be posting regularly on social media. He ain't done it yet, so just don't be prepared for that.
Okay, so we're going to act like I didn't have COVID. I didn't do a family trip to Disney and blah, 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 blah.
You didn't have to do the family trip.
I did not have to do the family trip to Disney, man. Please, you tell that to the little girls.
I have 4. Come on now. So just saying on that one. But no, and then all jokes aside, but you can message me on all my socials. You can message Matt. You can message Shane. You can even message Ben. Ben does have social media, so we promise you he does. Just get what you need to do. Just give us a 1 or 2 paragraph, preferably 1 because we read these things. And if you are selected as the best idea, what we'll do is we'll notify you the way you reached out to us, and you'll get an introduction video Matt will create for you just for you coming on as that one time that you'll get to keep, and then also you will get at least 1, if not 2 short clips for your time on the show, and you'll get to debate with myself, with Matt, with Shane, and our good friend Ben, which, by the way, he is already ready to debate with you guys. So you have until next week to get all your submissions in. April 26th is the deadline. Good luck. Hopefully you win. So here's the upcoming episodes that everybody needs to circle. Please do. What is it on this? What did you post in there, Matt?
Oh my God, no. Eric Collins, best calls. You got to listen to him later.
Oh, okay.
Later.
All right. I was like, what is that?
Later.
So here's the upcoming episodes. Episode 218, which will be Friday the 17th. You will not see Matt because Matt has to work late, but is the 3rd and final round of the Sportz Nutz NFL mock draft. Our good friend Jerry White of the Jerry White Show, which Jerry still laughs that you don't come on.
Crazy how we keep missing each other.
I know.
Crazy.
So, but then episode 219 is Monday, April the 20th. And we are also going to be joined by this is our weekly thing with him. Every Monday, we have John from the Pitch Grid podcast come on and talk to us about the world of soccer. We'll have him on until the end of World Cup time. This is always great to have John on. John's a good friend of ours. Episode 220 will be Wednesday, April the 22nd. And then episode 221, Friday the 24th. And then episode 222, Monday the 27th. That might be the day that we have Brian Atkins, who is the play-by-play or the PA announcer for Furman University Athletics, might be coming on the day. We'll know soon. And then episode 223 is Wednesday the 29th. And this one I'm actually really excited for, and everybody will be here for it. It is episode 224, Friday, May 1st. The former president of a university, it's the University of Hawaii, president, Mr. Ben Jay, is going to be joining us. It's going to be a very special episode. As you guys know, we had Craig Angeles come on, so stay tuned for that one. So with that being said, for everybody who tuned in, everybody who will tune in the coming days, thank you guys so much. Matt, give your final goodbyes, please.
Absolutely, guys. Remember to follow the rules. Don't get flagged in the game of life. Just be easy and be considerate of others.
Shane, give your final goodbyes, please, sir.
Oh yeah, well, as always, we appreciate y'all letting us bend your ear for a little bit. Thanks everybody out there for watching, liking, following, subscribing, all that good stuff. As always, may the good Lord bless you. Peace, love, and bacon grease.
Peace, love, and bacon grease. And I always tell you, peace up, A-Town down in Why. It's the greatest city there ever was. Hey, you guys have a fantastic rest of your week. We'll see you on Friday. Until then, enjoy this great outro. Goodbye.